Welcome, Nahuel, to Metallarium Pages. It's a great pleasure to talk with you again because we spoke 2 years ago with you, exactly, with you. Two
Oh
years,
yeah,
2 years
that's right.
exactly
That's
for
right.
the
I
last
remember.
album. At that time the last album was was A Hill to Die Upon, and now we speak about from this from Svilicht and more things related to the metal cruelty in general. So let's start with by asking how was band being the band during these last 2 years, because 2 years happened from the last, well, from the last album.
Yeah, I mean, it was it was a quite hard time searching for a new vocalist and everything, and songwriting is always hard. It's always a challenge, and most of the time when you start writing a new album, it's always hard to make a big picture of it and to decide what kind of stuff you want to have in the new record. Uh, I mean, we have some stuff from the older record, from A Hill to Die Upon, some A Hill to Die Upon vibes, I would say. But this time we added some more stuff. We tried to experiment a lot, try to incorporate the influences of the music we listen to at the moment. And yeah, I'm pretty happy how it turned out. And yeah.
Hmm. Okay. One detail that I saw from this new album, I think is correct, Svilicht, is that the
Exactly.
Svilicht, that this is your first album on a big label like Century Media is it. And one thing, a curious thing, because I spoke with Signs of Swarm, what you again, I saw a lot of bands that get out from unique leaders, I don't know why, and enter all to the Century Media. So for you, for the first question, how do you deal now with this aspect to be in a big leagues?
It's awesome. I mean, when we got the offer from Century Media, we were a little bit confused because we were like, fucking Century Media, you know? uh, but yeah, it's a label I've been looking up to like forever. Like all my favorite bands are on Century Media, and yeah, it was such an awesome moment when we got that signing, and I'm really proud to be on that label. And I think it's super cool. Like Century Media signed so many good bands in the last years, and yeah, I think it's a great time to be on the label, and I'm proud to be on the label. It's like a big family. We love everybody over there, and they treating us really really good. And yeah, I couldn't be more happy to be on Central Media.
Nice, nice. And the follow question related to this is what happened for many bands to change the label, because I think 4 to 5 bands from unique leaders are now with unique leaders, and I know other bands I like with Nuclear Blast. So perhaps do you know what happened exactly, why all bands are retired from this small label to big labels?
I think it has nothing to do with being tired. I think it's just like all these bands want to grow, and it's not a chance every band gets, you know, getting asked to be on such a big label. And I mean, the numbers speak for itself, and it's the music industry is such a hard business, and I think a lot of bands are thankful for offers like that, and yeah, just try to get bigger, uh, get better productions and stuff like that. So I think that factor plays a big role in that.
Okay. Well, since the beginning, well, we spoke 2 years ago, and you told me that you entered with this symphonic black metal. So you put this kind of touch in the band, because if we spoke about from the first Purgatorium or Inference is more like deathcore, deathcore in many ways. But since Hell to Die Upon and now Svilicht are more symphonic black metal. So how was the process of composition of this second album with this symphonic black metal elements? I remember I remember that you told me you had a lot of inspiration from Emperor, a little Dimo Borgir here, so etc.
Well, it was a pretty natural thing because we're at a point in our lives we don't care about trends or anything. We just want to write the music we love, you know. And I mean, all the previous records are cool and everything, but it's not the type of music we want to play anymore. We have so many new influences in there, so many new bands we listen to, and we don't want to be how do you say? We don't want to stuck to one genre, you know. I mean, as well on Zwielicht, we have so many different genres incorporated and so many different influences, and we really enjoy that kind of freedom we have in the songwriting. And yeah, I think it was just a natural process to change the sound, because it's the music we want to play.
Okay. Okay. Other aspect that I didn't know into the music is that one from this new album is that you told me that from you changed the frontman because was now is Lucas Nicole from the new. So how was this new vocalist adapt to the sound of Mental Cruelty now?
It was awesome because he's a really great musician, and it was such a good feeling in the studio with him when the first time he came over here. We recorded a song, and it was flawless from the beginning. He didn't had any issues or any problems doing different techniques or being in time. He didn't had any issues with recording with a metronome or anything. And he also has a pretty cool mindset about everything, and he writes a lot of lyrics, has a lot of ideas, and it was and is awesome to work with him. And yeah, it's a little bit of a sound change, but I think it is great. It sounds great. He's sounding great.
Okay. Okay. Over the tell about the one thing that you told me is the curious aspect that is like a trend. You don't follow the trends, this kind of aspect. But a curious aspect around these 5 or 6 years is that Lorna Shore, Brand of Sacrifice, Mental Cruelty, a lot of bands more. Even I interviewed a new band of Sulfur from Eastern Century Media too, Sign of a Sword. All these kind of bands, a lot of mixing now these symphonic metal elements into the music. So how do you see that now? That I don't know. Perhaps is the impact that the band has for the symphonic metal. What's your opinion about the a lot of death metal fans from the old era are not agree with this kind of mixture like deathcore with symphonic metal?
Yeah, I think it's just it comes down to taste. Uh, I can see your point, and I mean it is kind of a trend, this black and deathcore kind of thing. But like I said, we don't label ourselves with that. For example, I wouldn't label Lorna Shore a deathcore band. For me, they are more like a melodic death metal band nowadays, especially the new record. Uh, of course, all these bands have breakdowns and everything, but if the breakdowns are like 10% and 90% of the music is like all this big orchestration and everything, I'm not sure if you can call it deathcore or still call it deathcore. But of course, you still have those influences from the previous records and everything. But yeah, I get it, like that some people don't really dig that style, but I think a lot of people like getting over with it and start like checking bands out, because Lorna Shore had such a big impact on the metal scene in the recent years. And I also spoke to a lot of people who were like, I'm not really digging this kind of sound. And when Pain Remains came out, for example, they were like, oh, this is cool. They never gave it a chance. And when they saw it popping up everywhere, I think more people gave it a chance, you know?
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I remember when I spoke with Scott Lewis from Carnifex, and he told me that the deathcore scene is not like mainstream. It's not like Arch Enemy. No, it's not like Emperor. Or no, it's not like Carcass. The big names into the extreme metal war. And a few months ago, I spoke with with guitarist from Mark from Suicide Silence. And he told me now the new movement of the deathcore are drop by drop into like a family because Lorna Shore, these kind of bands are more like a scene together compared to the previous wave of the deathcore scene, Carnifex, Suicide Silence, Darkest Hour, etc., etc. No? So, how do you see your opinion about this aspect? The deathcore is not like mainstream now, but now you told me Lorna Shore are more, has a huge impact. Even Brand of Sacrifice too. Both bands has both did a huge impact into the metal scene, and I think they're touring with great bands.
Yeah, definitely. I was so stoked to see Lorna Shore touring with Gojira and Mastodon, and it was kind of surreal when I saw that, like the flyer of the tour. I was like, "What the fuck? Lorna Shore with Gojira on tour would be my dream tour because I love Mastodon and Gojira." But yeah, I think it is awesome, and uh, yeah, like I said, I think you're right with the scenes and everything, but uh I don't know. I'm listening to so many genres and everybody in the band. For example, Marvin is the biggest Winter Sun and NC fan. Uh, Danny, our drummer, he listens to a lot of power metal. Our vocalist, Lucas, he listens to stuff like Darko, but also Bring Me the Horizon, everything. So I don't know. I've never saw myself in any scene because uh, I I'm not really feel comfortable uh, labeling myself just into one corner of music, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Because yeah, uh, it's hard to describe it. I think it's just like I accept every metal genre and every genre outside of metal, you know, and I just don't want to be just in that corner or just in that corner. I enjoy every side of music, you know.
Yes, 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 yes. Well, Metal Cruelty is a band formed in 2014, but now a huge impact that it has, well, the digital part has in our world is that the most people listening just singles. That's impossible
Mm.
now, but we are returning back on time because at the 40s and 50s, the music spread by just by singles at that time, and now we're returning to this aspect to hear the music by singles, and so what is the motive to continue creating albums in a world that prefer just singles?
I think it is just because I love all the records I grew up with. Like there's nothing better than putting a Metallica CD like Master of Puppets or Ride the Lightning into the CD player and enjoy the album from front to back. And I get it with the singles because the attention of people nowadays is so little with all social media and stuff, like people staring at their phones watching a video for 3 seconds and keep on moving, you know. But I still really enjoy albums. Like every band I check out or every record I buy, I always listen to the records from front to back. And yeah, that's something I still want to have in my own band, and we all agree on that in the band. So yeah, I think records like full albums are still the way to go for metal, even if it's not the industry standard nowadays. But I think it keeps the spirit alive, kind of.
Yep, yeah. Well, especially for the collectors, they prefer
Yeah,
to hear
exactly.
more the album than EP or singles. But I remember that I asked you about the first two albums because these first two albums from the band talking about the like names like Purgatorium, like Inference is like a Satanism approach in both albums. But now I Heal to Die Upon and Svilich are related, still related with this Satanism aspect, or perhaps you embark in a new different kind of lyrics.
Yeah, like our new vocalist Lucas, he wrote a lot of the lyrics and he get inspired by a lot of things. And we have so many new topics on the record. Like for example, the new single Norlis is about the Northern Lights, about the ancient stories about them years and years ago, what the Vikings thought about it, and he has so many great ideas, and yeah, we embrace that. We love to have ideas and topics that fit the music, you know, and sometimes there are lyrics that are a little bit more personal. It's a mix between everything on the record, and like I said before, I think it's just something that comes naturally, just because at these moments where we write the lyrics, it's just like what we feel, and we stuck to this, you know.
Okay, okay, okay. Now we're talking about the promotion of this new album, and well, we're very close to this interview too. So, what are the future plans that the band has for this Svilicht? Is perhaps you will promote for more European tours? Because, as I said, the symphonic deathcore now has a huge impact into the metal scene. So it's probably to get to US, to Australia, European, Japan, or perhaps your first Latin gig. Who knows?
Yeah, actually at the moment we don't have like a lot of plans, because we fully concentrate on the record, bringing the record out to the world. Uh, but yeah, we will see. We don't have anything planned. We like to uh, take it slow with everything, and be prepared. Uh, we have some shows in the summer, some little festivals here and there. We have some shows with Heaven Shall Burn in Germany, and I think it will be this for this year. Maybe at the end of the year, I don't know. Like I said, we don't have anything planned, but yeah, as soon as summer is over, I think we're gonna start writing again, songwriting, and then we will see what chances we get to hop on tours or doing concerts. So at the moment, it's a little bit more chill and slow paced.
Mhm. Oh, talking about other topics, and during the restrictions due to the pandemic, we were discussing of the options that the bands were using to keep in touch with fans, like streaming shows, streaming live performance. So now that everything backs to the normal, we have real concert festivals. A lot of things happen now. But well, the only thing that it changed, according to the Christopher from Therion, or according to a lot of people that told me in other interviews, that the price rise or are very too high to do now tours in bus, because everything rise for this pandemic. Well, but recently artificial intelligence is becoming more and more accessible to a people, and the discussion is about its impact in different aspects in our lives, so included
Mhm.
art and music. So what is your perspective about this issue? Do you see yourself using to make cover, for example, for your other band on Metadona perhaps, or even asking an AI to compose something for you?
Definitely not. I would never ask AI to compose something for me. I mean, when this all started, I remember the first time I heard about AI was when Midjourney popped up, the program in Discord that creates pictures and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
And Marvin and me, we thought it was super cool, but uh, as time went by, it got scarier and scarier. Uh, at the moment, I'm not sure. I'm a little bit scared of it, actually, because I have a feeling that it's growing too fast, you know. And I'm also curious what's gonna happen in the music industry with it, because it's pretty crazy to hear, like, I don't know if you have seen it, but I saw like uh videos of Megadeth songs where they replace the vocals with James Hetfield and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and it sounds super real. And I was like, oh my god, that is crazy. Or songs that coming out from artists that already have passed away, and they're using like the pre-recorded stuff from back in the days to do those new AI
Yeah.
sounds and everything. It is crazy, and I'm, like I said, I'm scared of it, and I hope it will not totally blow up the world.
Well, that is true. That is true. Oh, I'm talking about from well, you yeah, you told me that you use with the other member of the band this mid journey to create some art by playing, so playing in general. So, but from
Mhm.
this new album, you use a cover art for Mariusz Legwadomski, well,
Mhm.
who died in 2022, a year
Yeah,
ago. So why do you
sadly.
decide to use well, or perhaps do you use this artwork before him pass away, or perhaps you use later, well, after he passed away?
It was after we finished the recording of the album. I think it was in November 2022. And actually, at the beginning, when we were still in the writing process, we played around with Midjourney, and we were like, "Oh my God, this is for free!" And oh, it looks so good. But we really quick realized that those pictures don't have soul. It has no character, and I think, and the other aspect is I still want to be able to support artists, and I'm an artist myself, so I'm happy to get support from people all over the world. And if everybody would think like, oh, this is for free, let's do it just like that way, or I mean, maybe in the future there will be like AI mixing engineers or stuff like that, and that would be
No, that's
fatal
possible.
for the yeah, and that would be fatal for the music industry and for a lot of artists and mixing engineers. So we cut off that idea real quick, and we looked around for stuff or pictures we were interested in, and yeah, we really liked all the stuff he did for the bands that used his artworks. I mean, you have Humanity's Last Breath, Bell Witch, Lorna Shore, of course. So many cool artworks, and yeah, we wrote his Instagram site and or his Instagram page, and asked them if they have still some pictures available of him, and they sent us actually a folder with pictures that haven't been used, like in a music context, and we fell in love with the artwork we have now for Zwielicht, and yeah, that's why we used it at the end.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Well, one of the last questions. You bring one. You play in a band like Metadona. I remember. You remember that you release an EP. So perhaps you will bring back and well, this old band because it's very different from Metal Groove. It's more groove style. So perhaps you will prepare more. Well, an album, your first album, perhaps.
Well, the thing is, we didn't done anything in the last 4 years, I would say. So that band is pretty much dead at the moment. But I still have some finished songs on my hard drive. Maybe I'm gonna release them in the future. I don't know. But I'm always working on other stuff. I have uh, uh, another project right now with two good friends, and it's gonna be like I don't know how would you call it? It's in the style of Nordjewel, Dark Funeral, really fast black metal, and
Okay.
I hope to release it maybe this year or maybe next year in the beginning of next year. And I also have a ton of other solo projects. Also want to record old school black metal type of record. I already wrote all these songs. Then I have another project. Also, all the songs are finished. Just the lyrics that I need to write. That is in the style of stuff like Quellertag, Mastodon.
Okay.
I also want to release that record, but music is just time consuming. It's
Yeah.
hard to find time for all those projects, but I always have them in the back of my head. It's not like I forget about them. It's and I try to find time, like when I have free time. uh, I mean, there are a lot of times I'm laying in my bed and I'm on my phone, and then I'm realizing I'm laying in my bed doing nothing at the moment. Why don't I just get down into my home studio and working on those records again? And then yeah, sometimes I do that, but let's hope to that I bring some new music out in the next
Okay,
few months.
okay. Well, now, well, the sad times arrive at this interview. I hope you enjoyed this one like me. It was a pleasure again
It
to
was
talk with
awesome.
you. Talk with to
Yeah,
some.
thanks for having me. Thanks
Okay,
for having me.
okay. Well, perhaps you want to add something to your Latin American fans and Metalito followers.
Yes, definitely. First of all, hola cabron, hola cabrons. Thank you for supporting our band. I hope you're enjoying all the singles so far. I hope you guys gonna enjoy the record. Thank you all for the support. It means the world to all of us in the band. And I'm happy, and I hope we're gonna play in South America in the future. Would be an absolute dream come true for me. So thank you for the support, and I hope you enjoy the music.